All right, let's jump right in. What if I told you there's this hidden switch inside your body? One that pretty much runs the show. Your energy, your mood, even how free you feel. And what if, for most of us, that switch is just stuck? Today, we're going to dig into that exact idea. And trust me, it might just change how you see, well, everything. So let's get into it.
Okay, first question for you. You know that feeling, right? That 3 p.m. slump hits you like a ton of bricks. Or maybe it's needing that morning coffee just to feel human. Or, getting super irritable, hangry, if a meal is even a little bit late. We all just kind of call this normal life. But what if it's not? What if this normal we've all accepted is actually kind of a trap?
This really gets to the heart of it. The idea is you think you're eating normally, but your body, it's been stuck on this one single track for a long, long time. Basically, it's only running on half of its potential. That's a pretty wild thought, isn't it? So let's figure out what this single path actually is.
So you're probably wondering, how is that even possible? Well, it all goes back to how we're built, our body's fundamental design. See, we're not designed with just one fuel tank. We're actually designed with two. Yep, that's right. Two totally separate ways of making energy. And believe me, they play by completely different rules and they run on completely different fuels.
Okay, so let's look at how this plays out. On one side, you've got the sugar-burning mode. This thing runs on the food you just put in your mouth, especially carbs. It gives you this quick, almost explosive burst of energy. But you know what comes next, right? The crash, the brain fog, that classic, irritable, hangry feeling. Now on the other side, you have the fat-burning mode. This one is totally different. It taps into your body's own stored fat for fuel. We're talking clean, steady, long-lasting energy. The result? You feel stable, mentally clear, even if it's been hours since you last ate.
So the ideal state, the way we were originally designed to work, is something called metabolic flexibility. Honestly, the best way to think about it is like a hybrid car. A hybrid can effortlessly switch between using gas from the pump and using the power stored in its own battery, right? Well, that's what your body is supposed to do. That ability to switch fuels whenever you need to, that is metabolic freedom.
Now this is so important. This is the real dividing line between being free and being trapped. See, if you're metabolically flexible, you can easily go from burning fat back to burning sugar, no problem. But here's the catch. If you're stuck in sugar-burning mode, you often can't make that switch back. You literally can't access your own stored energy. That switch we were talking about, it's basically rusted shut.
So that begs the question, right? If this is how we're supposed to be designed, what on earth went wrong? Why is this switch broken for so many of us?
Well, a lot of it points directly to our modern world. Think about it. The constant eating, 3 meals a day plus snacks in between. All that eating keeps our insulin levels jacked up all day long. And you can think of insulin like a traffic cop for your energy. It's constantly shouting, store fat, and at the same time it's putting up a giant roadblock, actively blocking your body from burning that fat. So if insulin is always around, that fat-burning pathway, it just never ever gets a chance to turn on. It's a system that's almost perfectly designed to keep us locked in.
And listen, this is really important to hear. This is not your fault. Seriously, this has nothing to do with willpower. It's just biology. It's how your body responds to a really unnatural environment. You've just been living inside a system that's been pushing your body in one direction and doing a very good job of keeping it there.
Okay, so what does all this actually look like in your day-to-day life? Because we're not just talking about boring biochemistry here. We're talking about two completely, fundamentally different ways to live.
And I mean, the difference is just night and day. The sugar burner's life is this constant roller coaster, totally dictated by when they can eat next. The energy crashes, the mood swings, that all hangry thing is a dead giveaway. You're basically a slave to your next meal. But the fat burner, they're living in a totally different world. Their energy is just stable, consistent. Their mood is calm, they're focused, all because they can tap into their own fuel tank anytime they want. They have what you could call energy freedom.
All right, let's bring this back to you now. It's time for a quick, and you gotta be honest here, a little reality check.
Just ask yourself these questions and be honest. Do you start to feel kind of panicked, maybe even shaky if you have to skip a meal? Does the idea of going more than a few hours without a snack just seem impossible? And here's the big one, the most telling question of all. Do you have plenty of energy stored on your body as fat, but you feel totally and completely exhausted all the time? If you're sitting there nodding your head, that's not just being tired. That is a massive sign that your body is locked out of its own fuel tank. You know, this quote just says it all. It's not about making a choice.
When you lose this flexibility, you literally don't have the biological tools to do anything different. It's like you're being swept away by a powerful river current, and you've completely lost the ability to swim against it.
And all of this, it really brings us to our final and maybe the most important point of all. It makes you ask, what does freedom really mean?
I mean, we all like to think we're in the driver's seat, right? We believe we're the ones choosing what to eat, when to eat it, how we're going to feel.
But here is the really powerful argument. If your metabolism is inflexible, then you are not the one making the choice. Your metabolism is choosing for you. That desperate craving for snacks, that sudden inability to focus, that's not you being free. That is a demand, an order, from a body that has completely forgotten how to take care of itself.
So I'm going to leave you with this one final thought to chew on. The real test of your freedom, it has nothing to do with what you're eating. The real test is what happens when you stop eating. In those moments, can you still feel clear-headed, energetic, in control? Because the answer to that question, well, that reveals just how free you really are.